All right, take two. You ready? And action.
They're recording and you got mic test, right?
Yeah, we're definitely recording audio. Don't scare me. Don't scare me.
Okay,
Now I'm going to get up and check.
Two times it has happened where we did a whole 30-minute session.
Yeah?
Nothing got recorded in the audio, man. We had to redo it.
Oh,
Two
my
times.
God. That sounds like my nightmare. That's my nightmare.
Oh, yeah, it was horrible.
Yes, that's my nightmare. So, Josh.
Yes. Yes,
Welcome.
Rob. Thank you for here. Thank you for the email.
I'm very happy that you're here. We've known each other a long time.
Yes.
And you know, having you is a bit of a stretch for the video podcast, but I think there's a lot of value to us talking. First of all, I just wanted to have. I always kind of think about like our time, like that. Remember that one time we met where it was you and me and Dryan and Frank and AR.
Oh yes,
Remember that?
I do recall. Yes.
That like I always think back on that and I'm like, yo, that was like the Avengers, bro, because like everybody from that meeting, which nothing came of really,
Yeah.
went on to do like really big stuff.
Oh yeah, man. I was, man. I want to say like out of that the group of people, and the group expanded to more people, but that group of people that was in that room,
Yeah.
I saw people like they're gonna make shit happen in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Like 5 years, these guys are gonna be it. They're gonna be the person to go like
Yeah.
in their industries, and just look at all of them, man.
Yeah, see, the funny thing is, you saw that. This is why you're good at what you do, because you saw that. I didn't see that at all. I had no idea. I was like, we just trying shit, you know? Like, I had no idea. But it does make me very proud to have seen that. And that kind of, so I want to ask, I just want to start by asking, like, for you to explain Golden as you would now. Like if someone who's never heard of Golden has no idea what you guys do, or the mission statement or the philosophy behind the company, how would you explain it?
In a nutshell, I print T-shirts. That's what I do. I print T-shirts for companies of all sizes, small companies that do a dozen of T-shirts to big companies that do tens of thousands of T-shirts. I do anything from concerts to small pop and shop, HVAC company, my idea is, or the idea behind it is I love capitalism. I love businesses. I think business owners are the solution to every problem in the world, because when you start a business, you find a problem, you find a way to solve it. So by me getting these people to look better, they feel better, they do better. So they're changing the world, and I'm helping them change the world. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. That's a
Thank you.
great quote. That's a really great quote. I've never heard anyone say that before. That is, it's interesting. Because yeah, it's like, I guess capitalism and business owners are like the sort of like, like a lot of new technology comes from NASA. It's like the necessity. It comes from the necessity, right?
Yeah, you find
Like,
a problem, you
yeah.
get a business, You
Yeah.
find a way to solve the problem, yeah.
Yeah, you have to break new ground in order to surpass a certain frontier. And if you're not, if you are a business owner, then a lot of that new ground or solving problems that have no solution just yet or don't have a streamlined solution, it's like, yeah, that's what business owners are doing. So, okay. So this is what's most impressive about your business is you got started during a time when everybody was doing what you were doing. Like in 2015, let's say, how many like t-shirt brands were there? How many clothing brands were there? How many like people trying to get clothing off the ground, trying to start screen print? Like how many people were trying to do that at that time, and how many of them are left? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when I started, I wanted a clothing brand. So that was my thing. I wanted to start a clothing brand, and the name of the clothing brand was the Golden Fame.
The Golden Fame, yes.
Yeah, and that was my thing. That was my nickname too, Golden, and still like some people still call me Golden,
Yes.
right? Or Golden Fame, or
Yeah.
So that was my thing. I was really into streetwear. I really like apparel a lot. I like hip hop, and then I used to throw events, everything revolving the streetwear scene and all that. And I had to figure out how to do it for the low, kind of. So
Yeah.
I kind of started printing my own stuff. And I was good at it. So people will ask me, hey, can you print my stuff too, And then eventually I was doing, every other brand's clothing and stuff. But the thing is, when I started doing Las Vegas streetwear, there was maybe 3-4 brands out there doing Las Vegas streetwear. There was
Right.
not streetwear.
Right,
out
not
there.
like when you say okay, so are you saying like the in totality all streetwear or streetwear that's focused
in
on
Las Vegas.
Okay,
The streetwear in Las Vegas, like focus
like brands
around
here though, not just brands that were focused on Las Vegas, because Golden had a bit of a sense of like.
Vegas. It was
yeah.
it was a lot of Vegas. Like most of
But
the
you
designs.
mean overall streetwear brands, people that were trying to start streetwear brands in Las Vegas, there were very few at the time
there
when you got
were
started.
there were some, but nobody that represented Las Vegas, like the Las Vegas designs.
Okay.
There was nobody taking like pride on the city on streetwear.
Yeah.
At that time. Later on, like there were a couple collabs with like I think it was called Sweet 160. They will do a couple T-shirts that had to do
think
with
I remember them.
Yeah, with,
I mean, I
couple
can
T-shirts.
run off a couple. I mean, oh man, now that I said that, the names are escaping me. But I remember, obviously, there was Civilian.
Civilian
There
was
was-
doing,
there
but
was,
but they were barely taking on into the Vegas. They were more of the whole rebellious theme.
Yeah.
And then I think it was them and us that kind of started doing a lot of T-shirts that had to do with the Vegas theme.
Yeah.
And there were Hippo was out there, but there
I
were
remember
more.
Hippo.
Yeah, more of the
Waterhole
Islanders.
Kingdom.
Yes,
Waterhole
exactly.
Kingdom. Yes, I remember. Shout out to Tanesh and to JR and to Maki and to other people involved in that. Shout out to
Yes.
y'all. We remember y'all. We remember y'all.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But their theme was very cultural. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty cool, and and I think that's it. I don't remember a lot other brands, but yeah, everybody like a lot of brands were doing it, and some of them were doing it out of LA. So I decided I'm gonna buy myself a little press, start doing it.
Yeah.
People asked me, "Can you do it for my brand?" I said yes, and then soon enough I was busy doing it for others.
So here's the thing, though. I gotta have to tell you, man. You have great taste. You always have had great taste. People, first of all, just without going too far back into the past, even right now, I had hoodies printed up for fun that are branded One Track Mind and have the older. Now it's funny. I switched up the logo like right after I had the hoodies made, which is really smart. But so and people love those. Like literally, people who don't know me are like, "Where can I get that hoodie?" And I'm like, "You can't."
You only did a few, right? Like it was like 12 or something
Yeah,
like that. Like 24 maybe. No,
No. It was small. It was like I literally made enough for me to keep 2 and then just to give out to my friends.
But it was like high quality.
This really nice hoodies, man.
Yes, I remember it was.
So there's
nice.
that, and I mean, I tell you this all the time. Every time I see you, I feel like I tell you this. But I had a shirt at Elong Tee with the Golden Fame Elong Tees. I wore those until they fell apart. Like I literally they were my favorite T-shirts, the black and the gray ones. The gray one lasted longer, but we're talking like literally. I'd come home and put this T-shirt on like multiple days out of the week, and it lasted me like 10 years. So
I got the same. It was the cut. Like to me, it was like, oh my god, this cut. But you know what? I don't know, man. Things change and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was always trying to do things that I can look back and say, oh, I don't regret doing that piece of T-shirt or that piece of art. I was not trying to be so much into trends.
yeah.
Because when you look at a piece that you have done and it was just a trend, then you cannot wear it in the future.
So you don't feel, in other words, you feel like a little bit of a lack of ownership over something where you were kind of trying to get onto a wave. Like,
yes,
is that,
yes.
Okay.
But instead, the best pieces that I released were the ones where were very thoughtful. Like, okay, this type of cut, this type of design will last for a long time. Like no matter 10 years from now, I can still wear it.
Well, it is funny that you say that because like this week, which will, when this is seen, will be much later. But the next podcast I have coming out is with Tiffany Weeks. She's a stylist and costumer, like has done really big stuff. And she was telling me that the trend right now is called, damn it, I forget what it's called, but it's basically like wearing really expensive, nice designer stuff, but with no labels on it. And you were doing that before I had ever seen that. Like, I remember thinking, like, when you first showed me those T-shirts, like, oh, there's no logo on this. How are people going to know? But it's like the cut is unique enough that, you know, and then people, and the thing is, if it's a nice enough piece of clothing, someone's going to ask you.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that too.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, what is it, because, you know, even though I'd say the streetwear, and I mean, even though you're not really even in that business as much anymore, at least forward facing, not as much.
Yes. I had to really. So my first business was called Black Geisha Studios with the screen printing, and then I got to a point where I was printing a lot. I would get there early, man, like 6 a.m. and I would print all the way to like 1 a.m., man.
Yeah.
And I'll be tired, like just printing. And I'm like,
sounds like
I am printing a lot of T-shirts, but I'm making a living, but it's not like great. This is not scalable. Like I'm missing something. I don't understand. I understand how to print, how to design, how to market, how to brand myself, but I didn't understand business. So I had to take a step back and say, you know what? I'm closing shop. I'm going to restructure this whole thing. And really think about learning how to do business, how to scale a business. So that's when I found out, you know what, my audience at that point, it wasn't it. The audience that I was catering to was not it. And I found out, you know what, I need more people. I need people that believe in what I'm doing and that can help me grow this dream. And I went on a journey to learn, how to hire, how to fire, how to put processes into places, and how to build a good business plan, you know, that I can scale. And eventually my audience changed. Now it's more dedicated towards businesses.
This is one thing I like about you, man. This is something I actually really aspire to. You have been with the same girl since I met you.
Yes, Nelly.
Same girl.
Same girl, man.
And you have always been like really, you know, I'm not that involved in your personal life, but you guys have been together for since I've met you, which is now 10 years.
I got lucky, man. I got lucky,
and your relationship's always been really solid. And one thing that I love about you is firstly that, like, that's a really testament to someone's character. I think that they can be in a healthy relationship and not fuck it up, you know, because that's what human beings do. But you, and now that you're at the state that Golden is in the stage that it's in now, Nelly works with you.
Yes and no. So let me elaborate.
Okay.
I had to find out that it's not good to work with your wife. so it's
That's great.
It's
I didn't know that.
Yes,
I didn't know this. Okay, yeah. So please do.
We came to an agreement, right? She has a role.
Yeah.
I cannot get involved in her role.
Okay.
I can support her if she has questions.
Yeah.
But I cannot tell her what to do, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we clash.
It gets tense.
It's really hard. And that's big advice. If you are going to have a company and stuff like that, don't have your wife working with you. She can work in a department that's completely separate from yours.
Yeah.
So, and there has to be no crossing or command or a chain of command where she responds to you or you respond to her. That came clear like after a while. But yes,
that makes sense. That makes sense, because it's like, you know, like you when you communication with your girl or your wife or your partner, you know, it should be soft, it should be patient, and sometimes at work it can't be like that. It's like, I need this now, you know.
And I'm like that. That's the thing. I'm very demanding.
Yeah.
I cannot talk to her the way I talk to my leads or
Your
managers.
other
No,
employees,
no. I'll be sleeping in the couch every single. But one
That's
thing
great,
is,
man.
she found her place within the company. She assists us with customer service. She's really good with customer service, and she handles what we call the field team.
Yeah.
She's very good with supporting the people that go out there and do sales
Yeah.
for us. And yeah, she's been doing it for it's going to a year with Filoso. Before that, she was working with Golden. It didn't work out. And then she took a break. We had a kid, so she took a break.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. She has always been supportive. Whatever crazy idea that I had, baby, I'm gonna throw an event. Okay, let's do it. Baby, I'm gonna do this. Okay, let's do it.
And she's always there helping you.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is the thing. Sometimes
she's not just laying back watching. Like
no,
she's
no, no.
there
She's
active.
hands
you know?
on.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
whether it was back then throwing those events, she'll be like, "Let me help you with the tickets."
Yeah.
Perfect. I need somebody for tickets. Let me help you selling water,
We
sodas.
love that.
Yeah.
We love that. Shout out to Nelly. We love that, man. That's great. It's so nice to be able to have that. And you've been lucky enough to also be able to hire other family members, right? Like or
Yes, it's been hard because I learned again. Like I hire a couple people.
working with family is tough.
It's tough.
It's tough. Yeah.
Now I have somebody that does the hiring, and they go through a whole process, interview, all that. Once they pass the first two interviews, they interview with me if it's good fit. Because one thing I found out is, it's not always talent. Like talent you can find out there, but it's the culture of if they fit with the culture, do they have values? If those values align with you, then it's a good fit to whichever company you have.
Absolutely, man. Isn't that so important? That is so important. That's one of the things. That's something I learned from Foley Entertainment, which is the company that hires me to shoot sports. They have said time and time again, they'd much rather someone with little to no experience who fits and who is a nice person than to hire someone who is like the shit and has a bad attitude. And it's like, you know what? That's why people love working there, And I'm obviously I'm not familiar with the inner, climate inside of your business, but I'm sure that's why people love working for your business too. It's like if it's a fit and the culture is right and everybody's the same kind of person and they can all get along, then they're going to do better work.
Yes,
for sure.
I always tell them, like, I want to be the best boss you ever had. I want to
Yeah.
have the best company you ever worked for.
Yeah.
I straight up tell them, like, tell me what I need to do in order to get there, right?
Yeah.
And because skills you can train somebody, talent you can train somebody, but
Absolutely.
values they come from home, and if they don't got it, I don't want it.
That's so true, man. That's so true. That's very smart. And that's there's a book about I don't know if you ever heard of Satoru Iwata. He was the former president of Nintendo.
Okay.
This is like a hero of mine, and he's like very famously one of the best people management people in the world ever, like in history. And he Nintendo was failing and they were looking like they were getting ready to sell, and then he, the president of Nintendo passed the company down to Iwata, and then Iwata took it over and completely turned it right back around. And one of his things was it's kind of like what you just said. He would sit down one-on-one with employees and ask them for feedback on himself.
Okay.
And ask them what's upsetting them, what their pressure points are, like and what he can do to help, make coming to work, more enjoyable. And you see the success that's had. Nintendo is huge again, where they were in bad shape before. I really believe in, it's like there's the X and the Y management styles, about that. I really believe that open communication with human beings, it's like people just want to be heard and respected. It's not just business. Like that's even with friendships and romance and all those things. If people feel heard and respected, like they matter, the output's just going to be better. Like it's really hard to argue that,
Yes. Working with for people, like tell me that, like, you know what, if you want people to listen to you, be respectful to them.
Yeah.
If you want people to listen to you, listen to them.
Yes.
And that's it. That's
Yeah.
that's the key. I don't lose people. I have had to let go of people because at one point they didn't align with our our goals for the company. It's been 2 people. The
Yeah.
rest, they've been there for years with
Yeah.
us, and I hope they stay there forever. As long as I'm there. But it's all about how you treat others. The way you want to treat others, the way you want to be treated. And
Yeah.
simple as that, man.
It is simple as that. It is simple as that. So one of the things that I think that I am curious about is you're in a competitive industry. I think. I mean, there's a lot of options, right, for merch, printing tees, that kind of thing. What is it that, like, how did you stand out? How are you able to stand out and, like, kind of rise above all that noise? You know what I mean?
When I was learning about business, when I took the year of, okay, let's figure it out, I found out that, if I compete on pricing, there's always going to be somebody cheaper.
Yes.
Especially if I try to scale this, because the bigger the building, the more stuff, you have to increase the prices because you got to cover all those expenses.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't going to be on price. So I had to figure out, okay, what is it that differentiates me from the competition? Just customer service, man.
Yeah.
Answer the phone. I cannot emphasize how big that is. Just customer service. Just make sure that the emails get answered, the calls get answered. And if you as an owner cannot do it, hire somebody to do it. And that's what happened to me. At one point, I'm like, man, everybody's hitting me up. I'm not replying fast enough. I need to hire somebody.
Yeah.
And that's what differentiates me from the rest of the people out there. And yes, it's very competitive. There's always somebody opening a shop out of their garage. Always. Yeah. There's all these online companies that can do it in China for the cheapest. So it's just customer service. That's the biggest differentiator. And once you find your client, because it costs us a lot of money to really find those clients that we want to work with. But once you find it, make sure you service them. Make sure you call them. Make sure you check how are they doing. What is it that they need from you? We are an extension of their marketing department. I don't see ourselves as the t-shirt company, but more as a consultant to them. Hey, what else? What else you got going on? Let me see how I can be of help. You know? And if I cannot do it, I'm a good connector. I like to refer people like, oh, I know somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That leads me to my next thought, which is, how important is marketing really?
Oh, man. At first, the very first company that I had, I thought it was all about the design. I thought it was all about the printing, right? Second time, I restructured the company. I opened Golden. I found out it's all about the sales. It's all about branding and marketing, right? How people know about you, how they found about you, how you're branded, how you look. And that's pretty much it, man. So the second time, I didn't purchase equipment. I was outsourcing everything. So I would get sales. Sales will come to me. I was like a broker, like a middle person. Clients will come to me. They'll consult, and then I will outsource it.
Yeah.
And it was all about branding and marketing. And the way I will market myself was ads, like Google ads, Instagram ads, SEO, website SEO.
Yeah.
All that, man. And it works. It does work. But one of the things that my industry is kind of boring, man. It's old. It's been done for years and years and years.
Yeah. So there's a template to follow, or not, maybe not a template, but there's steps.
Kind of, no, because it keeps evolving. But one of the things that doesn't change is just do a good job. Be consistent. People refer you. Just stick to it. Don't people want to do work with you, and then if you switch and now you do things differently, like your client switches too, and they don't like that. They like consistency.
Yeah.
So that has a lot to do with how we do things. If we're gonna promise something, that's what we're gonna deliver. and we stand by it, and it works, man. It's slow to grow in that type of industry, but once you get it there, it's gravy.
It's crazy how just doing what you said you were going to do actually works and makes
Right?
builds trust. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of there's a thing with this. I'm not gonna say like new generation because it's like a wave, but like a lot of people want to start businesses, and they go for what is shiny out there.
Yeah.
All these, online companies, all these, software companies, and yeah, they're great and everything, and you can hit it, you can have the next unicorn and everything. There's a lot of companies out there, they're boring, like like we mentioned, HVAC, all these
Right.
companies that lasted years and years, 40 years, 60 years, they're there for a reason. They're good, they make
Yeah.
money, they're boring. Like, you just got to stick to it and keep at it. Yeah, you're not gonna see your money, you're not gonna become a millionaire.
Right.
But you just stick to it, they do work, all this.
That is the thing, man. It's like, being people who are chronically online, a lot of us, right? Like, you lose sight of real sort of foundational businesses like plumbers, electricians, all these, these are companies that, like you said, they've been in business for 40, 50 years. And this stuff makes money. These are things that also make money. But you wouldn't know it because it's not like the next big 3-second flash in the pan exciting thing that you're seeing on social media, or
yeah.
You're not a personality in front of a camera or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
And I think one thing that I see that or that I admire of you is when you took your camera, right? I recall you purchased, it was a Sony Alpha, was it?
Oh, so when I first met you, I already had the A6000.
Okay.
And then I bought an A7R2. That was my first big camera purchase.
Yes. And so you were doing apparel, like you were doing retail. You were in the retail business and also in the music industry. I recall that you mentioned to me that you went to school for music.
Yeah.
And when you say, you know what, I like recording, I'm gonna get good at in this camera. And I recall it was at an event. We had a cipher going on, and you came and you helped us with the recording of the video. It came out great.
I still have that video.
You still have the video?
I still have that one. Yeah. You're talking about the one at Black Geisha, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Are you talking about Indigenous?
Indigenous event.
That one, I think I still have that one.
Yes, we did it right there in the first floor where you used to have your
New
retail
Orleans Square.
shop.
Oh yeah, this is a little further down. Yeah, that's a little later on in the timeline there. Yeah, I remember that.
But I recall you had that camera and you showed me that camera at that event, all right? And I was like, oh man! And you were getting out there and doing all these events, and you were self-taught, I want to say.
Yeah,
for the most part.
For video, yeah.
And you stick to it. You just said, you know what, I'm gonna be doing video.
I did, man. I did. But you know what's funny, man? It's. I never realized how similar our stories are because I didn't intend on doing video at all. I just started doing video so that I would be good enough to do content for myself. And
you end up doing it
people
for somebody
just
else.
started asking me, like it's the same thing you just said about Golden. Like people started asking you to print stuff, and you're like, all right, well, okay, fine. And then if it's like money starts coming in, you're not going to ignore that. You got to follow that.
Yes.
So that turned into
an overnight success of 10 years.
Very weird life. Yeah, very weird life of struggling and then doing great and struggling and then doing great. And then getting and then just I think it's I'd love to look at it the way you look at it because it probably makes more sense. But the way me being a little bit of a cynical person, I'm just like you're in it until you get lucky, and then you start to get lucky more because you got that one thing, and then people go, oh wow, like.
But it's just like
it
that
adds
for
to
any
credibility,
business. It's like that for any business,
Yeah.
and you'll be surprised. Like you're like, oh yeah, the story is very similar.
Yeah.
I talked to multiple business owners, and you'll be surprised how similar our stories are to theirs. Where they start. I got one. This guy, I love his story. He used to sell cell phone cases, right? Cell phone cases out of his bicycle.
Yeah.
He will go out there
No
and
kidding.
buy these cell phone cases from LA
Wow.
and start selling out of his bicycle, right? Then eventually he got like a little scooter.
Yeah.
You'll see him in the city selling to these local cell phone places. Like he will buy them wholesale, start selling them.
Yeah.
Right? Then eventually a car, then eventually a little minivan. No, this guy drives a Lambo, and he does phenomenal with selling accessories and stuff like that for cell phone.
Yeah.
It is, but that's business. You just do it until you get lucky. Eventually, you hit somebody, and they connect you with the next person, and the rest is history, man.
Yeah, that's wild, huh?
That's
Isn't that
wild.
wild? That's wild.
But it's amazing, like that you started with the camera, and from the little that I know, it's like you work with this huge company, Caesar, right? Caesar Entertainment.
We worked for Caesars for a long time. Aces, Golden Knights. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. You know, like I've been very lucky, man. I've been very lucky. And
Couple celebriries.
Yeah. It's cool, man. It really helps with credibility. That's the thing that, I mean, really, you know, my business sense is awful. So I'm literally like banking on my credibility. Like, yeah, look at this stuff. You know, hire me, please. But so you know, this will be the one video question I have for you. But so speaking, you know, talking about marketing and sales and all that, how important is video for marketing, would you say?
Super important. Super important. I have to say that has set myself as a leader in my industry, video, because with the help of, I'm currently working with The Recipe, Christian Castro.
Yeah.
So he used to be around us when we used to throw those events, man.
He was a OG before I even started shooting video.
Yes.
I remember he invited me to his place one time, and he's like, "Bro, you should do this and get this lens and all that." Like he was already on it before I got into it. So
and it's crazy. So we reconnected because he was doing vinyl.
yeah,
He was doing videos about vinyl, and I didn't recognize it was him because it was his hands doing it. And I was like, hey, I would love to collab with
vinyl.
him.
Like, what do you mean, like raps or
No, vinyl
or like
pressing.
records?
No, vinyl pressing into T-shirts.
Oh, okay.
He is known as the heat HTV Don, like the heat transfer vinyl Don.
Really?
Like and so I
mean, he's always been on some new shit. Like he's always got something going on.
not on this one.
Not
So
on this
he took a time off. You know, like I'm gonna take a time off, and he has spent like 5 years
Yeah.
doing this thing. He created a full community,
Yeah.
right? Over, I don't know, 60,000 followers or whatnot on
That's
YouTube.
wild. That's wild.
And I'm like, on YouTube, it's really hard. Like once you get that on YouTube, you can monetize. And I'm like, so I hit him up and I say, hey, man, I see that you're in Vegas. And then I found out it was Christian. Like, what the heck, man? And then he said, you know what? It'd be great.
That's funny, man.
Yes. He said, hey, man, maybe we can do something together. And he came, we collabed. He said, hey, Josh, I want to expand to more things than just vinyl.
Yeah.
So we connected. I said, well, look, you can use the facility to record more content than just vinyl if you would like. And I said, I need help with a couple videos. I can pay you for the videos since you are already here. So we work a deal, and it's been great. But I learned, like, before that, I was doing content, but I wasn't doing it correctly. I didn't know how to put it well together for my audience.
Okay.
But once I learned that, I'm like, okay, I'm stopping with the pictures and just going full in with video. And it's been great. I mean, it's the way you promote yourself, it's the way you get good reviews, it's it, man.
Messaging, man, you know, it's messaging, and it's like it does seem to be like the universal language of marketing. It's just, but I like what you said about, you know, like I wasn't doing it the way that I needed to speak to my audience. That's a big deal, man. And a lot of people don't have a grasp on that idea. You know, whether it's like they're doing content that would really be aimed for younger people and their audience is older, or vice versa. Maybe they're doing some really clean cut corporate looking stuff when they should be trying to speak to people who are 20 something. Maybe they're not thinking about client content that would do better with women than it does with men. And, you know, like there's endless variables you know, just because you have a camera and you turn it on and say something doesn't mean it's gonna stick.
Yes, and one. This is the golden nugget, man. If you like the whole interview, but this is it, man. If you're in any industry, whatever industry you're in, right? Figure out what are the 10 questions that gets the most asked in your industry. For example, if you do wraps, you mentioned car wraps, right? You do car wraps. How much does a car wrap cost, right? Or even better, ask ChatGPT, what are the 10 most asked questions on the internet about my industry? And then every video that you make,
Answer those questions.
answer those questions. That's it. That's it. Because
That's fire, bro.
social
That's
media
great.
social media is the next search engine. People
Fucking
go
A.
to TikTok and what do? They look up stuff,
Yeah.
man.
They
And what
look
is
for
it?
stuff that they are already interested in.
Yes.
So you're talking to your market, you know. Then it's just about how to do the gymnastics of getting them to actually make a purchase, or to help lead others that will make a purchase to you.
So, and that's pretty much it. Don't try to sell them necessarily, but just talk about those questions. That's it. And then it becomes a search engine optimized social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those videos that we create, we have some videos that are like 6 months old, still get likes, still get comments, still get views because they answer a question. They're not trendy. So
Right.
it's like the
right.
pieces of clothes when
It's
we
an
talk
evergreen.
earlier.
It's an evergreen
Content.
question. Something that people are going to always be wondering about that industry. Yes, I love that. That's. I mean, you know, that's a big thing on most websites you go to are going to have an FAQ on it. Why?
Yes.
Because these are the questions that, you know, people are going to want answered without necessarily having to get on the phone. It's like they want to get the info right there.
And
then
it's crazy. Like, for example, if I was in the video industry, the question that probably gets the most question, like the question that gets the most asked is, what's the best camera?
Yeah.
What's the best lens? And
Yeah.
guess what? It's still, to this day, it's probably the one with the most views. Like, that video is the one with the most views.
Yeah.
And then you can do it even better. What's the best camera? 2025.
Yeah. Yeah.
This content is evergreen, man. People
Yeah.
will see it a full year, and you get business out of it too, man.
I believe it. I actually love that idea, though. Like, you know, this is the way that could backfire for video, though, is because for me, there's two worlds of people that I'm talking to. It's other video people who I don't want to talk to, or not that I don't want to talk to, but it's not really necessary for me to talk to. What's up, man? Or it's video customers. And the problem, if we're talking video marketing or marketing video services, is the people who are actually curious about the camera are not the people that are going to pay me money.
Perfect.
The
So
people who don't know anything and don't care are the people. Those are the people that are going to hire me.
perfect. So you just answered. But that was my issue when I was doing these videos.
Yeah.
The questions that I was answering, it was questions that other print shops were having.
Yeah.
How do you screen print? Well, I don't want to teach others how to screen print.
Right.
I want to teach people how to choose the best garment for their brand, how to choose the best hat for their company.
Yeah.
So I had the same issue. Most of my followers were other print shops.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
not my clients. My client is, companies that are 10 to 100 employees, that are looking for merch.
Yeah.
And I had to start asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Ask the right questions, you'll get the right audience. Correct.
I love that. Ask the right questions, you'll get the right audience. I love that. That's a great quote. I'm going to use that. Yeah, that was great. That's good stuff, man. Love it. Love to hear it. So I got a couple more for you. Do you have a nightmare story of like maybe it's a tough interaction or a tough obstacle, something came up that you weren't prepared for that you had to like really power through and like had a message attached, like had a lesson attached to it at the end of it?
Yes, I have few, but I'll give you one. I'll give you
Okay.
one that kind of answers like those 2 points that you mentioned. This one it happened maybe 3-4 years ago, and I was constantly selling. Right, like the very first year when I started Golden, my goal was just to get clients, get sales.
Yeah.
I will get into my office and I say, you know what? I'm not leaving until I close a sale. I will start calling people out of Google, and I was offering them business cards because I think at that point I was selling like 1,000 business cards for $50.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how many business cards I sold, but they will not provide the design. So I had to do the design, print them, and I was making like $15.
Yeah.
Spending like 2-3 hours per project. But my idea, the goal was just to sell them so I can gain a client, right? And it grew, eventually grew. But I was okay. I started advertising more. And one day I got this lead from a realtor. He said, you did a good job, man. I don't need t-shirts. But you know what? I know somebody that might need t-shirts. So you refer me to somebody, and he referred me to somebody, and it was an event. And this event ordered from me a lot of t-shirts. I'll tell you, they ordered $50,000 from me worth of merch.
Wow.
Freaking awesome, man. That was the big catapult, right? I did not have the money to print the t-shirt. So I needed their money to print the stuff because it was a lot of cash. You know, I didn't have credit cards or nothing.
Yeah, and they're not paying that up front. They're trying to pay that on net 30, net 60 probably.
Yes. So they needed this ASAP. So that day, I called my mom. So, Mom, I got this issue. And it's crazy because sometimes one thing, you know, I'm going to call an expert on printing. I'm going to call, no, you call an expert in life.
Yeah.
And that lady has a lot of experience. So I say, Mom, I got this issue. She said, what's the only solution that you have? Well, I need the money up front. She said, that's what you do. You call and ask for the money up front. And man, it took everything I had to negotiate that money up front. I had like 5 hours to get that money deposited. Oh dude.
Oh, man.
And it was the most stressing thing because I had to get that money in my bank account, and they couldn't pay me through my software, through the credit card. So I had to ask for an ACH or a bank transfer.
Yeah, I'm sure they love that.
Oh, hell no. And on top of that, I had to ask for it was crazy. It was crazy. I made it happen. How? Don't ask me. Man, I don't fucking know, man. At this point, I'm like, how? It was the perfect use of words. It was everything aligned, man. But I took the chance, right? And then next thing I know was like, I get the garments. The garments are late. I'm talking to the print shop that was helping me at that point to get this job done.
Yeah.
We're working overtime. And we're like, we're not going to finish. It's just so many things.
Yeah.
Guys, bring people overtime. I'll pay overtime.
Yeah.
It's not going to get to UPS. Fuck it. I went, got a U-Haul, drove freaking 6-8 hours to deliver this personally.
Woo, shit.
Made it happen, man. I was sweating through the whole thing. But if I wouldn't have took that chance, man, I don't know.
That's a great.
That's luck, you know.
Nah, that's not luck, man. That's not luck. That's you were busting your ass to make that happen.
It's every time like you people think, you get lucky. No, man. Every time it's like you get like, nah. We put a lot of effort. You never, like I don't see you ever leaving like I always see you doing something. You know, Rob. Like I always see you committed to your craft.
Yeah.
And you are the most successful person I know with a camera, man.
Well, thank you for saying that. That's very nice of you to say.
You have done, I don't know, all types of gigs and jobs and corporations. It's just amazing.
It's just being annoyingly tenacious and not just being so stubborn that you won't give up. That's all it is. That's all it is. But I love this is something that I think this is really the nugget, the golden nugget, because people don't get this, what you just explained. You put in the work, sitting there for hours trying to make a sale on business cards that you're going to make $15 off of. That value of that discipline and determination, and you knowing and having the confidence to know, I know if I make one client, I can make a second client. And I know if a client is going to buy this from me, there's a chance they'll buy that from me. Just having the confidence to like really believe that and put the work in to do that, and then it leading to that gig. Like that's what people need to see, man. That's good shit. People don't understand the value of hard work.
Yeah, man.
To put it simply,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
I love that. That's great. That's a great
Yes.
story.
It's,
All right.
it's a crazy story, huh?
No, that's great. It's great, man. It's a perfect example of what we're doing. I mean, obviously you and I are in totally different industries, but what we're doing out here is just not giving up, staying persistent, and then when things do come, if you've been in it that long, you're going to be prepared and you're going to figure it out.
Yes. Yes.
And if you don't, and if you can't figure it out, you call somebody. I love that. So, all right. So that's that actually turned out to be a great thing. But so I guess, but I would like to also hear if you have an idea of a particular highlight or high point in your time with Golden or Filoso, either way that you can think of.
Another moment will be when I had partnerships. So I actually do. I have a couple other businesses, right? But of Golden and Filoso, and the partnerships that I had there. I guess the biggest highlight will be my partners, man.
Yeah.
Francisco, shout out to Francisco,
Yeah.
and
Frank the man, shout out the boy.
and Gildardo Vasquez. They were both. I will
Shout
say,
out to Gil.
Yeah,
Shout out to Gil. Big shout out to Gil, the boy.
You gotta find people that complement you, that are committed to the dream, that they're workaholics.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be working with somebody, find somebody that works just more, if not as much as you do, because that will take you a long ways, and especially if the values have to align. The values cannot be different or crash. No, they have to. One thing I always say is sometimes you don't agree with your partner.
Yeah.
In business and at home.
Yeah.
But one of you have to give up, and eventually you might disagree, but you gotta comply.
Yeah.
And when you're both rowing in the same direction, the boat is moving, man.
Fucking A.
And I think that's it. One of the biggest things that happened to me is I found the right partners.
Yeah.
I found the right partners. I knew they were it. Like, I didn't know what it was, man. I don't know, but I know they had it. I was like, this person had it.
Yeah.
And through multiple interactions, I was like, okay, if I'm going in business with somebody, it's gonna be these people. And it's been a great journey. So if you're looking for a partner and something, find somebody that complements you. Find somebody that works just as hard as you do, and put it on paper. Always put it on paper. Every partnership, put it on paper.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Like that's, I mean, how many sob stories are there out there about, oh, we had an agreement, and then all of a sudden, no, you didn't. You didn't have a legal agreement. So yeah, I agree with that. Put it on paper if you're gonna do it.
Yes.
I love that, man. All right, so last one for you. For young people coming up who want to be running 2 successful businesses, man, from scratch, from nothing, from zero. It's not like you fell into some inheritance and had this big bag of money fall in your lap. We're talking about literally from scratch businesses. What do you say to them?
If you're gonna do something that you like, that you enjoy. Don't do it for the money, because eventually, if you're just for the money, you're in for a roller coaster, and it's not gonna be fun at points, and you're gonna wanna quit. But if you have passion behind it, you can get through it, and stick to it. Eventually, luck will knock your door. That's it.
That's perfect, man. Josh, thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Of course, man. If you, please share your socials and anything that you're working on that you want people to check out.
Oh yes, we have so the name of the business is Golden MFG, or Golden Printing and Embroidery. You can find us on Instagram, and Filoso Barber Brand. That's our other business. And yes, we have multiple events all the time. Please follow us on those 2 social medias, and you'll find out about all the events. We do a couple events in regards of other entrepreneurs and businesses. It's called the Golden Circle, and the Golden Circle is basically a network of business owners here in Las Vegas. We'd love to, if you're a business owner, we'd love to see you come and join us.
Hell yeah. Love that, bro. Yo, thanks, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we did
It's been
it.
great.